Kara starts watering the flowers. At this time, a car drives up to the house. A strange man gets out of the car and approaches the girl. "Are your parents home?" "No, but actually, this isn't my house. This is my friend's house." The man takes out a gun and asks the girl to follow all his orders. He takes Kara to the car and forces her to climb into the container. After a while of driving, the man stops in a deserted place to tie up the girl. He goes to the trunk to get the rope, and at that moment, Kara imagines running away. She tries her best to escape, but the man shoots her. Kara decides to wait and obey the rules of the kidnapper. The man ties her hands and gags her. Meanwhile, Jess, her friend, searches everywhere until she discovers the running water left on the lawn. Suspecting something had gone very wrong, she dials Carrara's mother, Deborah, asking if she had come by to collect her daughter. The mother, panicking at the sudden news, she starts calling all her daughter's friends, asking if she is with them. When all of them confirm they hadn't seen her, Jess and Deborah immediately call the police and file a missing person report. After being on the road for an unknown amount of time, Kara feels the container being moved. And then seconds later, the lid opens, freeing her from the constraint and gag. The kidnapper takes her to the bedroom where different gratification tools are set up on the bed. Instructing Carrara to face him, the man lays down the house rules. Firstly, he firmly asserts that he will constantly be armed and cautions against any foolish actions on her part. Secondly, he insists that she must address him as daddy at all times. Lastly, he emphasizes the importance of asking his permission before engaging in any activity. Smiling sadistically, he uses a notepad and starts asking her details about herself and where she lives. He then proceeds to ask her if she has a boyfriend and if she has had intimated with him, to which she explains she hasn't. After he gets all the information he needs, he asks her to get in the shower. Later, Daddy provides Kara with a shirt and the two sit on the couch. Trying desperately to calm herself, Kara forces herself to ask questions in hopes of getting information that would help her escape. Looking at her fondly, Daddy promises that he will let her go when he is done with her and that he won't hurt her unless she makes him. He makes her to smoke. He then brings a tape and puts it in the player, orders her to watch intently and describe to him. Hours later, Daddy gets up to make dinner, which Kara politely refuses to eat, pleading that she can clean the kitchen while he eats. Daddy stares at her intently while she works, then asks her to undress, then takes her to the bedroom. After they return to the couch, he opens the TV to see who was looking for her. Flipping through the channels, he shows her that there was nothing about her and smugly explains that no one was looking for her. Returning her to the bedroom, he tells her to go back into the container because he has to make a phone call and warns her to keep quiet. Kara has a terrible anxiety while inside the container and struggles to keep quiet. A few minutes later, Daddy returns with a pill and water to help with her panic attacks, appreciating her for listening to them. After going through his nightly routines, Daddy ties Carrara's hands to the bedpost and goes to sleep. After telling her that they are going to have a big day tomorrow. The following morning, while Daddy is in deep sleep, Kara carefully manages to untie herself from the bedpost without waking him up. Wearing the shorts he had brought her in, Kara manages to unlock the door and run outside, bolting through the small apartment buildings. When she finally reaches the road, she sees a car passing by and begs the driver to stop, telling them what had happened to her. She asks them to take her to the police station, which they agree to. Inside the station, she reports her name and what had happened to her to the officer at the front desk. Kara sits on one of the chairs until a few minutes later. Aaron approaches her and asks for her story. She tells him that she had been kidnapped the previous day by a man. After taking her into his office, he has his people search the system for any filed missing person report and finds her mother's name. The lieutenant then proceeds to call Deborah, who is still up and worried about her daughter. After informing her that they have her daughter, Aaron lets her speak to Kara, who begs her mother to come get her. In an attempt to catch the man before he flees, the lieutenant asks Carrara if she would be able to identify the apartment she was held in. Agreeing to help them with whatever they need, Kara goes with them and helps them find the house. Kara is returned to the station where she finds her mother waiting for her and they embrace, grateful for the reunion. Following Carrara's arrival at the hospital, Sergeant Bonnie gathers as much information as possible from her. To her astonishment, Bonnie discovers that Kara has been actively observing the items in the kidnapper's house. Bonnie then presents Kara with a series of photographs, hoping she can identify the man responsible. Kara successfully identified him, prompting the surgeon to explain that, although he was not found at the house, an extensive search was underway to locate him. Breaking into Daddy's house, the police find out that he had fled and discover a box full of other girls' belongings, as well as newspaper articles on his victims. Disgusted by what he has seen, the sheriff has his officers contact the other counties where the girls have been kidnapped from and order the lieutenant to use any means necessary to apprehend the man. Back at the hospital, Kara receives a pelvis checkup so the nurses can acquire evidence. Meanwhile, the county sheriff orders photographs of Daddy to be distributed everywhere so people know to inform the police. After further investigation, the police find out that the woman with blonde hair who lives with Daddy and was away on a trip during the incident was his wife Ashley. She and Daddy's mother had gone to Disney World for vacation. The police try to contact her to shed light on the situation. After her treatment, Kara goes to the lobby of the hospital to meet Jess and her boyfriend Ryan, who had been worried sick. Kara feels overwhelmed by everything that happened and asks her mother to take her home. During the drive to their house, Deborah asks her daughter questions about what happened, but Kara avoids answering, telling her mother that she doesn't want to know. When they finally arrive, Carrara's house is flooded with police officers and neighbors expressing their concern by bringing over food. Kara feels suffocated by the crowd and wants them all to leave her alone. Sergeant Bonnie arrives with updates on the case and explains to Kara that the police are here for her safety because they still haven't found the fugitive. Kara is hopeful that the police will catch the man as soon as possible so she can go back to her normal life. The following morning, while having breakfast, Carrara tells her mother that she wants to go to her boyfriend's house, but her mother refuses. Angry, Kara explains to her mother that she didn't let the horrible incident define her life. While they're arguing, Jess comes over and the two teenagers head upstairs. At the station, the police have managed to contact Daddy's family, which includes his wife, mother, and sister. While they speak to his sister Stephanie, she confesses that she has had suspicions and doesn't think it is the first time he has done this. She then tells the lieutenant that her brother had contacted her the previous day and gives him the address of the motel that he was staying in. When they search the place, they are disappointed to find out that he had left in a hurry. The sheriff arrives at Carrara's house, his presence a comforting reassurance amidst the lingering trauma. With a compassionate demeanor, he updates her on the progress of the case, sharing the latest developments and the tireless efforts of the investigative team. He then expresses his appreciation for Kara's courage in the face of unimaginable adversity. He acknowledges that it was her strength and resilience that brought the heinous actions of the serial killer into the spotlight, exposing the dark underbelly of his crimes. He assures her that the evil man will be brought to justice soon. The next day, the police once again reach out to Stephanie, who discloses that her brother had requested a meeting at his favorite restaurant. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, law enforcement swiftly organizes a team and strategically positions themselves, patiently awaiting the arrival of the fugitive. As the suspect finally appears, a tense chase ensues through the streets as Daddy maneuvers through the building. With nowhere left to flee, desperation overtakes the fugitive, leading him to make the final decision. In a moment of despair, he puts the gun in his mouth and ends his own life. The next morning, Kara wakes up to the smell of her mother's pancakes and heads to the living room. Deborah, with a smile on her face, tells her that the man who had kidnapped her had killed himself the day before, freeing her from the constant terror of him finding her.